Everyone, I am Sakshi Sharma, student ID 2510994793, and this is my presentation for my Arduino based waste segregation system, which is built and simulated on Tinkercad. So I will start by explaining my circuit connections. So firstly, I've used an ultrasonic sensor. So here the trick pin is connected to the second pin on the Arduino, and the eco pin is connected to the third pin on the Arduino. So this sensor detects whether a user is placing an item near the bin by measuring the distance using the sound waves. Then I've used an IR sensor. So the output pin of the IR sensor is connected to the first pin on the Arduino, and it gives 1 for the dry waste and 0 for the wet waste, it depending on the reflectivity. Like the dry objects, they reflect the IR light, and the wet objects absorb the IR light. Then I've connected a servo motor, and the servo signal pin of the servo motor is connected to the sixth digital pin of the Arduino. So this controls the flap movement with the servo motor being set to 0 for dry waste and it rotating to 90 degrees for the wet waste. Then I've used two LED indicators where the green LED will turn on for the dry waste and the red LED will turn on for the wet waste. So all these components, they are powered through the Arduino's 5-volt and GND power rails. So then there is the code that I've written here, in which I've included the servo library for controlling the servo motor, and I've defined all the sensor and actuator pins here at the top of my code. And I've also defined two thresholds for distance, and which is 10 centimeter, and the dry threshold, which is 1. So here the servo is attached to the sixth pin and it is set to the initial position 0, and then the LED pins are set as the output. The ultrasonic and IR pins are configured using the pin mode function. And then for the simulation, I generate a random distance between 5 and 13 and generate the IR value every 5 seconds. So it toggles between 1 and 0. And then the system checks whether an object is near, like it is like the distance is less than the threshold, so then an object is detected, and then the IR value then determines whether it is a dry waste or the wet waste. So if the IR value is 1, then it is the dry waste and the green LED is turned on while the red LED is turned off and the servo is set to 0. And if the IR value is 0, then it is wet waste and the red LED is turned on and the green is turned off, and the servo is then rotated to 90 degrees. So now I will be running this simulation. So first you will see the distance values, and then when the distance becomes less than 10 centimeter, the system will get triggered, and then based on the IR value, the correct LED will light up and the servo will rotate to direct the waste into the dry or the wet compartment. So this was my demonstration. Thank you so much for watching.